Antarctica is the last continent on Earth to be discovered. Just about 200 years ago, during the time of the Napoleonic Wars, people didn't even suspect that this icy landmass existed. While Napoleon Bonaparte was reshaping the map of Europe, globes showed nothing but emptiness south of the 60th parallel. Sailors first spotted fragments of its ice only in the 1820s, and they dared to set foot on its shore a little later. Antarctica seemed to appear out of nowhere, a mysterious frozen world unknown to anyone until the 19th century. A curious question arises. Did no one really know about Antarctica before the 19th century? Or was it simply kept secret? After all, progress would eventually reveal the truth, and hiding an entire continent would become impossible. Think about it. In your whole life, have you ever met anyone who has personally been to Antarctica? Or even a friend of a friend? Most likely not. The 6 degrees of separation theory somehow doesn't work when it comes to Antarctica. This place is still inaccessible to the vast majority of people. Why? What could be there that someone might be hiding from us? There are many theories that try to explain the mysteries of Antarctica. In this video, I suggest we look at the most popular and most plausible ones. Let's see what secrets are attributed to the frozen continent. Theory 1. The ice wall at the edge of the world. There is a belief that Antarctica is not an ordinary continent at the bottom of the globe, but an ice wall that surrounds our world. According to this theory, the Earth is a flat disk, and Antarctica is a massive ring of ice around its perimeter. Supporters of this idea claim that the ice wall protects us from other worlds or lands that lie beyond it. They insist that no one is allowed to freely cross Antarctica because governments supposedly guard the very edge of the world. They are convinced that if someone manages to break through the ice wall, new territories, the ones they don't tell us about, would be revealed. As evidence, they point to photographs of Antarctica's endless coastal ice cliffs, towering white walls rising tens of meters high and stretching for thousands of kilometers, as well as various maps from different time periods. Early explorers did describe Antarctica as a gigantic barrier. For example, in 1841, James Ross's expedition encountered an ice shelf about 30 meters high and extending all the way to the horizon. It was later named the Great Barrier. Flat Earth supporters believe that this barrier is the very edge of the world. In their view, anything could be hiding beyond Antarctica, from new oceans and continents to entirely different dimensions. On the screen, you can see a map of the supposed world beyond the ice wall. Behind the icy barrier, one could find the mythical Asgard, the lands of the Atlanteans and Atlantis itself, the Forest of Titans, the Anubis supercolony, and many other territories said to be hidden from ordinary people. Let me know in the comments if you want a detailed breakdown of this map and all its regions. Many claim that the Antarctic Treaty of 1959, the international agreement where all countries renounce territorial claims, was created specifically to keep ordinary people away from the ice wall. Under the cover of scientific research, military patrols allegedly guard the perimeter so no one accidentally breaches the edge of the disk. Official science, of course, describes Earth as a sphere and Antarctica as a regular continent at the South Pole. Yet this theory has grown especially popular in recent years with the resurgence of the Flat Earth movement. Its followers believe that Antarctica holds the key to uncovering the true shape of our world, and that the truth hidden beyond the ice barrier is so shocking that it must be kept secret at all costs. Theory 2. The secret Nazi base. There is a theory that Antarctica hides a secret base established by the Nazis during World War II. This idea didn't come out of nowhere. In fact, in 1938 to 1939, Nazi Germany did launch an expedition to Antarctica. The Germans explored the region of Queen Maud Land and even dropped metal swastika-marked flags from planes to claim the territory. Officially, the mission focused on cartography and searching for whaling zones, naming the discovered area Neuschwabenland. But conspiracy theorists believe the Nazis found something more. Rumors say that beneath Antarctica's ice, they discovered vast cave systems, warm underground pockets, or even traces of an ancient civilization. According to one version, the Nazis built an entire underground city in Antarctica, Base 211, where a chosen elite took refuge. Some say that in the final months of the war, hundreds of thousands of people were secretly evacuated from Germany to the southern hemisphere. Young scientists, officers, members of the Hitler Youth, all to continue the mission of the Third Reich in isolation. Submarines supposedly carried treasures, and even Hitler himself, to Antarctica. According to this theory, the Führer faked his death and escaped to a hidden Antarctic bunker beneath the eternal ice. Of course, mainstream history denies all of this, but an event that followed the war only fueled the speculation. In 1946 to 47, the United States launched a massive military expedition to Antarctica under the codename Operation High Jump. A fleet of 13 ships and 4,700 personnel led by Admiral Richard Byrd. Officially, their goal was to set up a scientific base and test military operations in cold environments. But conspiracy believers are sure. The U.S. Navy went to Antarctica to destroy secret Nazi underground bases, the so-called Fourth Reich, and seize the flying saucers of the Vril project, early prototypes of spacecraft powered by Mercury-based engines, linked to occult knowledge and possible extraterrestrial alliances. What happened next? The Byrd expedition suddenly halted and returned ahead of schedule. Conspiracy theorists claim the Americans encountered an unexpected and superior force. According to some accounts, the fleet was attacked by unidentified flying objects, saucers emerging from beneath the ice, flying at impossible speeds and firing deadly energy beams that sliced U.S. planes in half. In a panic, the fleet reportedly lost a destroyer, several aircraft, and many lives before retreating. Admiral Byrd, upon returning, vaguely spoke in interviews about a threat that could fly from pole to pole at incredible speeds. Some of the boldest claims suggest the Nazis not only built a base, but also made contact with extraterrestrial beings. In Antarctica, they supposedly discovered ancient technologies or alien artifacts. Legends speak of secret projects, Vril and Thule, disc-shaped flying craft powered by mysterious engines, possibly electrical or mercury-based. Believers say these Nazi UFOs took off from hidden hangars under the Antarctic ice and were capable of engaging enemy forces. Theory 3. A hidden prehistoric world beneath the ice. Have you ever wondered what might be hiding beneath the massive ice sheets of Antarctica? What if beneath that frozen shell lies a mythical world from the distant past? A realm where creatures long believed to be extinct still survive? Supporters of this theory claim that under Antarctica's icy crust, a thriving prehistoric world may be preserved, one that dates back to the dawn of Earth's history. Some believe there are warm regions deep within the continent, either vast underground caves heated by geothermal energy or massive ice-covered basins where the temperature is significantly higher. In such a secret oasis, an ancient ecosystem could have survived, isolated from the rest of the planet. Enthusiasts imagine dense, prehistoric jungles, hot springs, and lakes teeming with creatures thought to have vanished ages ago. Rumors suggest that dinosaurs or giant Ice Age animals may still roam hidden valleys, having escaped extinction in this frozen sanctuary. But where did this idea come from? Part of it was inspired by real scientific discoveries. Researchers have found that millions of years ago, Antarctica wasn't a frozen wasteland at all. About 90 million years ago, during the age of the dinosaurs, the continent had a temperate climate, covered in lush forests with conifer trees and ferns where dinosaurs once roamed. Today, scientists are still finding fossilized remains of these ancient forests and dinosaur bones beneath the ice, remnants of what's often called the Green Antarctica. For conspiracy theorists, these facts raise bold questions. If such a world once existed, could part of it still survive today, hidden in the depths of the continent? Interestingly, Stories and accounts that fuel this theory began circulating as early as the mid-20th century. One of the most talked about figures is Admiral Richard Byrd, the polar explorer who led Operation High Jump. He's often linked to a so-called secret diary, in which he allegedly describes flying into the heart of Antarctica and discovering astonishing things. According to believers, Byrd encountered a hidden valley with lakes and warm temperatures during his 1947 expedition. This isn't entirely fiction. In reality, Byrd's team did discover the Bungar Oasis, a strange patch of land free of ice, with a mysteriously warm lake in the middle of Antarctica. Scientists explain it as a result of geothermal activity and high salinity, but conspiracy theorists consider the Bungar Oasis to be a possible gateway to an inner hidden world. That same secret diary, never officially confirmed, supposedly describes Byrd landing in a secret valley and meeting members of an ancient underground civilization, beings with flying craft and advanced technology. It all sounds unbelievable. Yet these stories continue to circulate online, capturing imaginations around the world. Theory 4. Global elite conspiracy and the experimental zone. Supporters of this theory are convinced that the biggest secret of Antarctica isn't dinosaurs or Nazis. It's the ongoing activities of modern governments. According to them, Antarctica is a closed experimental zone where the world's major powers conduct secret research, run dangerous experiments, or conceal something of immense strategic value. Their main argument revolves around the Antarctic Treaty of 1959. This unique international agreement, initially signed by 12 countries and now by 54, declared the continent a demilitarized zone intended solely for peaceful scientific purposes. At first glance, it seems like a noble initiative, a continent free of war and conflict. But it raises a curious question. Why, during the height of the Cold War, when the US and the USSR trusted no one, did they suddenly agree to share Antarctica and renounce any territorial claims? For conspiracy theorists, such unity is deeply suspicious. They believe the superpowers must have discovered something so important, so threatening, that it forced them to stick together to guard a secret. Otherwise, why would rival nations go out of their way to protect a landmass supposedly covered in useless ice? They also point to the fact that access to the continent is strictly controlled. Tourists are only taken on pre-approved routes along certain coastal zones. It's nearly impossible for private individuals to organize an independent expedition deep into Antarctica. Permits are simply denied. A surveillance system surrounds the continent, and all research stations are state-run. Believers argue that behind the facade of scientific outposts could lie military research facilities. For example, the American McMurdo Station looks more like a military outpost than a science base, complete with an airstrip and logistics managed by the US military. According to this theory, Antarctica's vast remote interior could be used for testing technologies too dangerous to conduct in populated areas. Think weather modification weapons, new energy sources, or biological experiments. Some even speak of Project Phoenix, a rumored joint lab where world powers collaborate to study alien technology or ancient artifacts uncovered beneath the ice. Naturally, everything is kept under the strictest secrecy. Any unexpected event in Antarctica quickly becomes the source of speculation. If strange flashes are spotted above the ice, some say it's secret weapon testing. If scientists drill deep boreholes, like at Lake Vostok, whispers arise. Are they searching for oil or something ancient and powerful? Another version of the theory portrays Antarctica as a backup refuge in case of global catastrophe. The elite, it is said, are building bunkers beneath the ice, ready to evacuate there if nuclear war breaks out or climate collapse occurs. In that sterile, frozen silence, they could store food supplies, seeds, like the global seed vault in Svalbard, Shyogorosam, but much larger, and even preserve human genetic material. Theory 5. Three-Eye Atlas. In 2025, humanity received a new mysterious signal from the depths of space. Astronomers detected only the third interstellar object in history, named 3I Atlas, a visitor from another star system rapidly passing through our solar system. Official science classified it as just another comet, but supporters of alternative theories saw in 3I Atlas not a simple chunk of ice, but possibly an interstellar alien spacecraft on a reconnaissance mission. And this is where two lines of mystery converge. Conspiracy theorists are convinced that this object is heading straight for Earth, more precisely toward a hidden base in Antarctica, where it is supposed to land. It sounds like a movie script, but enthusiasts claim to have their own evidence. They point to the strange behavior of the interstellar guest. First, its trajectory appeared unusually neat. 3I Atlas moved almost exactly in the plane of the planets, as if it had deliberately chosen the most convenient path. Second, the object sequentially visited the vicinity of several planets, Mars, Venus, Jupiter, as if conducting reconnaissance, which led some to suspect an artificial flight program. And most importantly, the object behaved as if it possessed intelligence. At one point, the comet developed an anomalous anti-tail pointing toward the sun, which then suddenly disappeared. And some scientists did not rule out that 3I Atlas might have been slowing down, like a spacecraft shedding speed before a maneuver. An unusual trajectory, changes in velocity, and an excessively large nucleus. All of this fuels rumors that something artificial and controlled is approaching us under the guise of a comet. And here comes the most intriguing detail. When 3I Atlas approached the center of the solar system, it literally hid behind the sun, disappearing from the view of Earth-based telescopes. In late October 2025, the interstellar wanderer ended up on the opposite side of the sun from Earth, whose blinding glare made observations impossible. A coincidence? Supporters of the theory are convinced it was not. They deliberately hid the object from our observation, people whisper on internet forums, referring to the intelligent pilots of this mysterious craft. Supposedly, it was precisely at that moment that 3I Atlas could have changed course, performed some maneuver, for example, begun descending toward Earth, and we would not have noticed it behind the solar curtain. Perhaps it is now flying toward its destination, somewhere near the South Pole, preparing to land in the desolate, icy wilderness, far from prying eyes. The picture that emerges is captivating. The cold Antarctic night, polar lights dancing on the horizon, and suddenly a mysterious object silently descending from the starry sky. The icy wind howls over the wasteland as something alien touches down on the surface of Antarctica. All around, not a single living soul, only in the distance the faint lights of a research station, whose inhabitants have no idea that somewhere 100 kilometers away, visitors from interstellar darkness are landing. Perhaps hatches open and representatives of an alien civilization enter their secret Antarctic complex to meet those who have long since settled beneath the ice. The scene seems unbelievable, but what if it is really happening right now? Conspiracy theorists are certain. Everything is going according to the aliens' plan. It is no coincidence that Antarctica is declared a neutral territory. No coincidence that military activity is forbidden there. The international community, they say, is guarding not nature, but secrets. Rumors circulate that some governments know about the alien base and even cooperate with it, and that 3I Atlas is a long-awaited flight from their homeworld or deep space. Of course, it sounds fantastical. But in the polar night, gazing at the endless fields of ice, one cannot help but ask, what if all this is true? What if beneath the eternal Antarctic ice, alien hangars really are humming, and from time to time scouts fly overhead, which we mistake for comets? There is no answer. Antarctica keeps its secrets in silence, and perhaps we will never know who is really hiding on the most remote continent on Earth. Antarctica is not just land beneath the ice. It is a white spot not only on the map, but also in our consciousness. A place that does not tolerate extra eyes or excessive attention. Why is it so hard to get there? Why are all the world's agreements so unusually unified when it comes to this land? Every theory is just a version. But if all of them sound so unbelievable, why are we so carefully discouraged from even thinking about them? What if reality is far stranger than the official story? What if, behind the icy wind, something truly ancient, powerful, and long awakened is hiding? The question remains open. But if the truth is somewhere out there, beneath the ice, perhaps we will never know it. Or maybe, quite the opposite, it is already coming toward us. Subscribe to the channel and leave a like. The most interesting part is still ahead.